Evening. This is Lady Dana, and I wish you guys would come over and join me in this discussion for better understanding on how this manifests. A lot of people who are I've met in my journeys, and we're asking if is it true that we can make things happen? Well, actually, it is. It is. The thing with mind over matter, a lot of meanings came out. Some people say that when you say mind over matter, it means making something float in midair. When you say mind over matter, it means making something uh, come near you, even if that's not the exact meaning of the word mind over matter. Well, anyway, when you say mind over matter, the matter is what you're targeting. The matter has something to do with what your plans are. Uh, the matter, it can be anything. The matter also has, hi, whoever you are, please do say something, chat, or whatever, so I could say hi to you properly. Anyway, when you talk about making things work for you, that's also a part of mind over matter. Anyway, when you start manifesting things, I would suggest one of the best options that you can do for yourself is write. Write your goals, your dreams, your expectations. Write it down on, well, you can put it on a piece of paper, and you can put it on a notebook or something like that. You just write it down. You have to write down the most important goal to the least important goal, and then set that aside. You have to achieve one goal after another. How do you do that? You think about it. Plenty of people that uh, goes around uh, my world says that when you talk about, well, manifestations, you actually have to keep wondering about it. Okay, one thing is for sure, any form of manifestation is not going to happen unless you have a source. Okay, for example, you wanted to have a car. You wanted to have a car that is too expensive for how much you're earning. Well, uh, it's going to take a while for that to happen, because it's going to take a while for us to, save up for that particular car. If you're looking for or looking at owning an expedition when your salary can only afford, I don't know, probably a Honda City or something like that, well, that's a little bit impossible, because sometimes our goals are just too unreachable. We have to set goals that are reachable enough for us to, you know, go and grab it. With with the goals with regards to, like, for example, that owning a car, I would suggest uh, go to the showroom, take pictures of the car that you wanted, take a picture of yourself inside the car. A showroom is anyway something that uh, car manufacturers opened up for viewing purposes, and take a test drive. So technically, you ride a car, you test drive it, take pictures of yourself inside it, feel the leather, feel the brand new upholstery of just about anything that has something to do with the car. And then I want you to on how it feels like to own it. How do you do that? You write it. Take it for a test drive. There's nothing wrong with that. Those cars in there are actually not owned by anyone but the company itself. Do not test drive cars that doesn't belong to you, because if you test drive a car that is owned by somebody else already, then the more you can achieve it. Test drive a car that is owned by no one. It's actually meant for test driving. Make sure that it's a brand new one also, because test driving a second-hand car, you'll end up with a second-hand car for the rest of your life. So if you're going to set up goals for uh, a vehicle, I would suggest get it first base. Now, with regards to test driving it, because that is how you would be able to feel what it's like to own the car. Always remember that this is something that you always wanted. This is something that you wanted to feel what it's like to, you know, own it. So drive it. If you know how to drive, test drive it. That's the best way to, have a chance with it. Now, another way of manifestation would actually suggest that you try to, like I said, if it's a car, try to feel what it's like to own it, know the feeling of owning the vehicle that you wanted. Uh, Try a test drive over something. Just make sure that the car doesn't belong to anyone. Again, do not test drive a car that doesn't belong to you. Do not test drive a car that belongs to someone else, because those vehicles can actually cause trouble. Because if those vehicles suddenly disappears, well, you might end up with it. Yeah, you know what happens if that happens. Anyway, so after taking pictures of the car that you always wanted, have it have the pictures developed and put it out in your house or in your room. Take pictures. The pictures that you took pictures of the car, you put it all over your house or all over your room. Anyway, so anywhere that you can see it, just as long as you can see the car all the time. You see it all the time, the more your manifestations would get stronger to own it. Okay. Now give it 4 days or 5 days later. Make it a week. A week later, remove all the pictures. Remove all the pictures. Hide it in a. Put it in a box with a runic sign of how do you say that? Any form of manifestation signs will do. Manifestation signs of, well, technically owning a car would need money, so I would suggest see if you can find a manifestation rune for money. That's the best way to own it. Now, you write it on the box where you're going to put it. Make sure that the box is green for maturity. And yes, green symbolizes maturity. So when you say maturity coming into past as fast as possible, then you put that box inside your, well, don't put it under the bed. Put it inside your closet. Put all the pictures in there, the feeling of owning something, and just put it inside. Everything should be inside one box inside your closet. And make sure it's not your underwear drawers either. Just make sure it's just inside the closet. Put it up on top of the closet. There's always a space on top of your closet where you can put boxes in it. You just put it there, and make sure nobody touches it. Whatever happens, do not uh, put anything else in there but the pictures and those manifestation items that you wanted, the goal or the car that you wanted. Just put it in there, one step at a time. That car will manifest in your life. just make sure that that dream is very reachable, because when you dream of something, you cannot dream too big. If you dream of something unreachable, it's not going to come, or it's going to take a long time for it to come. Make sure that you set reachable goals and make sure that you can actually attain your goals. It's not very easy, I know. I understand, because we all have those doubts, but doubts has always been a part of life. So that is one way of helping you manifest mind over matter, something that you always wanted. So I hope you learned something tonight. And this is Lady Dana. Please do subscribe in my channel and learn more about what I do. Good night. Blessed be.